Welcome to the November 12th edition of the Area School Roundup. I'm Trevor Gill. This week I'm sitting down with Jim Phelps, the Fairbury Journal News sports writer, to preview the upcoming winter sports season. First off, you want to talk about boys basketball, girls basketball, or wrestling?
You go and I'll follow.
All right. Well, let's lead off with boys basketball. Looking back on the records from last year, it's kind of a rough season for most of the area schools. Only one, Diller Odell, ended up over 500. Everybody else was way under the 500 mark. So what do you think the outcome is going to be for the teams this year? What teams have a lot of experience coming back?
Well, I would say of the four, Fairbury is bringing back, is going to have a brand new coach. So there's a new system that the kids will have to learn. They graduated 8 players last year. Primarily they're ball handlers. So they'll have size. They'll be young. They do have some experience, but again, how will they get used to a new coaching style?
But at the same time, with the team being young, it could help with the new coach coming in too.
Correct. We'll have to see how the season goes. It'd be important to pick up a few wins right out of the gate.
Get their confidence.
Get confidence build up. If not, who knows. Tri-County, they have some size coming back. Again, they lost 2 of their better ball players to graduation that were their top scorers. So again, they're going to have to find some scoring. Diller Odell is the one team that had a winning record last year, although they graduated 4 out of 5 starters, so they have 1 starter back.
That always hurts too.
And they have a very challenging schedule with their Pioneer Conference and Hanover, Kansas, and etc. So they'll have their hands full. Meridian, again, lost half a dozen players to graduation. They'll be young, but you'd surely think that they have the ability to pick up more wins than 3.
And also too, until the season starts, you don't have any idea about how many freshmen are going to be out, how those players are going to gel with the players that have already been playing or anything. So
True.
It could be, boys basketball could be an interesting sport to watch this season.
And again, injuries play a factor. If you should lose a starter, a key member, and you have to go right to your bench and have to plug in with maybe a sophomore that has not seen much varsity time, that's another dilemma. Illness, you hate to think of suspensions, but that can happen. That can all affect a team's outcome.
Do you have any players to watch, players to keep your eye on this season for boys basketball?
Well, I'd say let's start with Diller Odell. Their one lone returning starter is Bladen All, and Bladen is a very good shooter, good quickness. He'll be counted on to be the captain on the team, since the majority of the other players will be first-time
leadership role
starters. So yes, they'll be looking for Bladen. He'll be looking for the younger kids to pick up and follow him. But if he plays as well as he did last year, they have the potential to go above 500 again.
Good.
Tri-County, again, they have some size, but again, it's going to be some of the younger kids to step up. If they can catch fire right away, who knows?
Okay.
And Fairbury, again, not much for ball handling back. They do have size, but you need somebody to bring the basketball down the court.
Exactly.
In Meridian, again, don't know much about how many kids were going to come back. You never know from year to year if the ones that can come back will come back. So it's
especially after do you want to come back after such a rough year like they had?
Right. So time will tell. You always hope for the best for every school, but
yeah,
a lot of things for 3 months can take place.
Well, on the girls' side of things, a lot of the area schools had records that were closer to the 500 mark. Meridian and Tri-County were the only ones that ended up below 500, but they were just right under 500. They were right on the line. So what do you think, what do you see happening this year for girls basketball teams? Do you see any major obstacles in the way of anybody, or?
Again, each team lost some significant players that meant a lot to their program. Let's start with Fairbury. They lost the two Pullman twins, who were their top two scorers, are now playing for Concordia University in Seward. So when you lose your top two scorers, that means you have to find some scoring.
Yeah.
One averaged nearly 20 points a game. So who do you designate to hope to score 20?
That's a lot of points to make up for. It really is.
You do have two starters back. They have youth. Again, it's going to see who will step up to the challenge. When you lose, your top two scorers, that means a lot of head scratching for the coaches. Who do I look to put the ball in the basket?
Exactly.
Tri-County, they have the luxury. I know they went 8-16 last year, but they have 4 starters back.
That helps a lot.
They have size.
That's a big core of your team coming back.
So again, if they can weather a tough schedule at the start, get some wins, they could be a surprise team. Diller-Odell, winning record last year, 14-8. They have 3 starters back. So, and those girls are playing right now at the state volleyball tournament. So they're not going to get much time off, but
No.
They're good enough athletes it shouldn't bother them at all.
Well, and that's one of those things that can work against you or hinder you, being, going straight from volleyball to basketball. You stay in shape, but at the same time, it wears you down too.
The seasons are so long, they overlap. So.
Yes.
And then the Meridian Lady Mustangs were 11-14 last year. They'll have some excellent players back. They do lose their all-state and all-time career scoring leader in Blair Hofstetter, who's now at Hastings College running track. So when you lose your all-time leading scorer and a 2-time all-state basketball player, that is very tough to have somebody fill in. They probably won't, but again, I can't speak for the coach. He might find somebody that can surprise us all and can step in. May not score 22 points a game, but can be a contributor.
All right. Wrestling, area schools that I know Fairbury had state qualifiers, Tri-County had state qualifiers, and did Diller-Odell have any?
Diller does not have wrestling.
They don't have wrestling at all?
Meridian had 6 wrestlers qualify for state.
Wow. Do any of those from Meridian return this season?
Of the 6 that qualified last year to go to Omaha, only 2 return.
Only 2 return?
But that will be something that the coach can build around him. You have 2 state qualifiers returning. They do lose their all-time career victories wrestler in Brandon Jackson, who was a 3-time medalist for the Mustangs. So I won't say the cupboard's going to be bare. They will have some youth, but anytime you have 2 state qualifiers back, that's something to build around.
Yes, that helps for your leadership and helps the coaches out too,
All
as far
right.
as watching these guys emulate them.
In Tri-County, they had 2 athletes qualify last year for the state wrestling tournament. 1 graduated, and they have Colby Yentz back, who has had a phenomenal year on the football field. So he'll just go right from the gridiron to the wrestling mats, and I'm sure Coach Spar is really going to look for him to lead that young team, and he has state experience.
Good deal.
Now for Fairbury, they might be the team that has the most potential. They're loaded. Again, can they stay healthy, avoid injury? You never know what your weight class could be. You could be in it with a 3-time state champion and maybe not even make it to state. They have 3 guys that are going to come back that qualified for state last year. Paul Mock, he qualified but did not medal. Damian Green and Jacob Johnson both medaled at Omaha. So there's 2 state medalists and 3 qualifiers that Coach Garfield's already going to look to this winter.
Yeah, with those 3 coming back, it could be very, very good for Fairbury on the map this year.
They'll be counted on big time because you have your share of freshmen that are just going to get used to high school wrestling. They've been doing junior high. That's a big step up. They're going to see some different competition this year. Their schedule has been changed quite drastically for Fairbury.
Oh, really? How's that?
Well, they used to go to, for example, they used to go to the Tri-County Invitational. They no longer go there. They used to go to the Thayer Central Invitational. They no longer are going to that. They have picked up Bennington Invite, first week of January.
Oh, wow.
The Plattsmouth Invitational, the Nebraska City Invitational. That's just a few.
So they will see a whole bunch of different competition this season.
Right. Coach Garfield always believes that he said, I did this, I want to wrestle the best competition that makes us better.
That's good. It does. Iron sharpens iron. I mean,
So if these kids think it's going to be easy, think again, because when you step up from a smaller invitational to Plattsmouth, to Nebraska City, Bennington,
yes.
now Central 10 Conference is loaded, so they're going to have to really perform.
Well, good. It sounds like in each sport, each school has a chance to shine this season.
Correct.
So, time will tell what transpires this season. Just stay tuned to Fairbury TV and Fairbury Journal News to stay up to date with the latest results and scores from all your area schools. Thanks for tuning in.